In today's video, we're gonna share to you guys about how we met.
The story of how Leah and Blair met.
It's our love story.
I'll give you a quick background story to myself. I left Australia in 2007, came to the Philippines for the first time as for a holiday. I was working in a mobile phone shop back in Australia, and it was my own shop. I also had an online website as well, and I had a lot of dead mobile phones, and a friend of mine had just come back from the Philippines saying you can bring your mobile phones to the Philippines and sell them very quickly, get a good price for them. So I brought some. He invited me to go with him to Manila in early 2007. So I came. I kept coming back once a year for a holiday, and then in 2014 I decided to make the move permanent. I sold everything. I didn't own a house, I was renting, but I had a car. I had a lot of personal belongings that I had accumulated over the years. So I sold everything, and I had probably around 15,000 Australian dollars on me. I moved to, what?
That's a good thing to start with.
15,000 Australian dollars. I moved to Cebu and I landed a job in a call center in Cebu. I was getting paid 30,000 pesos a month. And one thing that I haven't mentioned to you guys, but I was also a single father. I had gone through a divorce and I had agreed with my ex-wife that I would have the two boys. She was Chinese Malay, so she was born in Malaysia, but her ethnicity was Chinese, and she had been living in Australia. And when we separated, the boys came with me, but we still remained friends. The boys can see the mother whenever they wanted. So I brought the two boys with me to the Philippines, and I landed a job in Cebu in a call center, earning 30,000 pesos a month. Really glad that I had left Australia. Very expensive. Driving my car, getting caught by the police maybe once a month for going a couple of kilometers over the speed limit. It really used to get on my nerves. They would hide behind the trees. I was in the middle of nowhere, in the outback,
Really?
100 kilometers away from the city, in the countryside, but there'd still be that little boy in blue hiding behind the tree with his radar gun. And you're a couple of kilometers over the speed limit and you'd get a $300-400 fine. It just started to piss me off with Australia, the way things were going. So, because I'd been coming to the Philippines, I decided for a massive change in my life, and that was in 2014. I made the move permanently, and only after 1 month of being in Cebu, the boss of the company had invited me to go out on a island hopping just off the coast of Cebu, of Lapu-Lapu.
Yeah, Lapu-Lapu, right?
Yeah. So we went island hopping for the day on a Saturday. We rented a boat. We brought some of the Filipino staff with us because the owner was an Australian guy. All day we went out diving off the boat, fishing, drinking beer. And then that evening when we got home, I had a couple of hours sleep and I got a phone call saying, we're going out partying around Cebu City. And I hadn't been out much at all.
That's with your friend Nick, right?
Yeah, there was another guy working there. He was from England. He was about 10 years younger than me. I'm 51 now. This was
probably like 40.
This was like 7 years ago. So we ended up going out, myself and Nick, and the rest of the people started going home around midnight. And Nick said to me, we're in Mango Square, if any of you guys know Mango Square, right in the center of Cebu City. And Nick says, I know a place called MO2. It's a restaurant bar. They'll stay open till maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. Let's keep going, let's keep drinking, and let's go there. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So we caught a taxi to a place that I'd never been before called MO2. And there was a band playing. We sat in the beer garden and I was watching this band. And there was another table beside ours with a couple of girls sitting there. And one of them caught my eye, and she was with her friend. The friend was quite a large lady, and it was Leah May, and she was sitting beside her friend, but the friend was covering her. So I'm like trying to see Leah May like this, trying to catch her eye, and I'm like waving and hello. And then myself and Nick, we'd get up for a dance, and I was kind of dancing in front of them, not right in front of them, but you know, kind of trying to catch her eye. Then I went to the CR, went to the toilet, came back, and they had gone. And it was only like 3 or 4 minutes. I'd come back and they were gone. I'm like, oh, maybe my dancing wasn't very good. I wasn't very impressive, and they've gone home. So I walked over to where the taxi rank is. Maybe she was still in the queue for the taxi and maybe I could get her number. And there was no taxis. And I'm saying to myself, how is it that I went to the toilet, I saw her walking to the taxi rank, and she'd got in a taxi straight away? No way, what had happened? And I stood there looking for about 2 minutes, kid you not guys. I stood there looking in the car park for about 2 minutes, and I had this feeling like I'd met this girl before, maybe I'd known her before in a previous life. I don't know if you guys believe that sort of stuff, but I had that feeling that that was my one and only chance, and she had gone. I was never going to see her again. You know, the chances of me seeing her in Cebu City again, meeting her by chance, were going to be very, very slim. So I turned around, I was walking back to the bar, and right behind me there's another separate wine bar, and there was Leah May and her friend. She hadn't got in a taxi. I had walked right past them because they were at a 90-degree angle to me. I'll show you some pictures. I'll roll some pictures now so you can see MO2 and you can see what I'm talking about. So as I turned around to walk back to the table where my friend Nick was sitting, they were there. They hadn't left. I'm like, yes! So I went behind them. I'm like, tapped them on the shoulder and, hi, it's me!
Yeah. I arrived in Cebu City at 4 p.m. and then I called my friend. I said, where are you? I want to hang out with you. And then she said, I'm in Barili, which is in South Cebu. So I'm like, come back here in Cebu City. I want to hang out with you. We're going to go partying. And he said, no, I just arrived here. I don't want to go back there. I mean, I want to spend time here with my relatives. I said, no, come back here in the city. I want to give you the good night. Partying night. That time. So I encouraged her to come back in the city, and then when she arrived, I pick her up in the South Bus Terminal and we go straight to Mango Square. That's a popular place in Cebu City, like where is the disco and stuff. There is different clubs around there, right?
It's right in the center of Cebu City.
Yes. So we went there, we, you know, have fun, and then I said, no, we're not satisfied, we're just gonna go another bar. So we went to Lahog, we went to around Bandawi, and then we end up in MO2. So it's just me and my friend going together.
So if you remember, I had said that I was in Mango Square with my friend. So myself and Leah May found out.
Sige ya, salamat ya.
Thank you. Thanks guys.
The fisherman invite us na to eat. That's a good one.
So if you remember, I was in Mango Square as well, the same night that Leah May was there in Mango Square.
But we didn't meet there.
We didn't meet. It's not a very big area. There's maybe like 10 different restaurants and bars and clubs.
Yes.
So she's later told me many years ago that she was in Mango and I was in Mango.
Yes.
But we both went to the place called MO2.
Yeah. So after went to a couple of places, around 4 places, Mandawi, and I bring Ivy to a she cannot forget this. If she's watching this video, she's gonna laugh and remember this. I bring her to a, you know, like a guy thing. If the girl went to the, if the guy went to a woman. You
haven't told me this before. This is the first time I'm hearing this, guys. I don't know if I'm happy about this. A stripper thing.
Is that a stripper?
I don't know.
Yeah, like there's a lot of like guys there and gays.
Dancing?
Yes. I
have never heard this before, so you're gonna...
I bring her to there.
What the heck?
Just around in Mandawi.
I thought she was a good girl.
Name. I can't remember the name. It's not for me, it's for Ivy, because remember I called him
not
back.
For you.
Nah, I'm not looking for anyone that time. I'm not looking.
But what
for
is it?
there.
What?
It's the guy. Is the guy like dancing and going to the table and dancing? But I'm pushing Ivy.
What the heck? I thought Leah May was a good girl, guys.
Like, because I wanna give her the good night, because I promised her like, come back here. And I'm gonna give you the night that you cannot forget. And if you ask Ivy now, she cannot forget. So I bring her there, we order some drinks, and then like the guy stood up in her beside her and just like dancing with her, and she said, "No, T, I don't want to be here."
Oh my God!
After that, we decided to go to MO2.
So coming out today, guys.
So we go to MO2, and then we sit down in the what's the van? a band.
A band, yeah.
Yeah, a band. And then as soon as we sat down, we ordered the drinks and we watching in the band in MO2. And then IB is sitting beside me, and then Blair is sitting the other table with his friend. And IB just like that to me, D, there's a foreigner. And I said, I'm not interested in foreigner. Don't push me. And then she said, he's looking at you. And I said, no, I'm not interested. He is in your back. And I'm like, turn around. And Blair standing in my back. And I said, oh, how are you?
Yeah.
And then the first thing he said to me, I'm good. And I said like, where are you from? And then he said to me, guess what, where I'm from? And I said, from UK?
Yeah, she said, are you from England?
Yes.
I said, no, guess again, the land of kangaroos.
So which is Australia, mate.
G'day, mate.
Yeah. So we just start chatting, and then she said to me, and then he said to me, oh, I thought you're gone.
Yeah. I thought she had left already, and then as I was walking back to the bar, there she was, sitting at another side of the bar with her friend. So I was overjoyed. I thought that they had gone. I'd never had that feeling before in my life, where I had seen someone and it felt like, I just can't explain it, guys. I just felt like I had known her before in a previous life.
Yeah.
I don't really believe that kind of stuff. But because I thought that she had gone in a taxi, I'm like kicking myself to going to the toilet, and I should have like chatted her up straight away. You know, I should never have missed the chance. I should not have procrastinated. I should not have taken my time. No, Mr. Blair's gonna play it cool. I'm gonna give her the eye, and then I'm gonna go to the toilet first, get myself a beer, come back, and they've gone.
I thought you're gone that time when you left the table in the van in front of the band. I thought you're gone.
She was thinking I was leaving.
And I said like, oh yeah, he's just had his night and he's gone. Because it was around like 12 midnight that time. It's Saturday night. So we just start chatting on the bar, and then we decided to go to the disco because
inside.
there's
a disco inside.
Yes. And then when we start chatting, and I'm asking why he's here.
I started giving my background story.
Yes, and then the thing that make me interest is he's a single father. He has a son with him. He's in Cebu working, and then I'm like, oh really? And then he's starting me to, oh, I want to know more with this guy. He's not just here for a holiday.
I'm not here on
he's
holiday.
Here for work.
He's living here.
And then the interesting part is he's even bring his son with him while working in Cebu City. That's really interesting. So I asked more, and then he's showing me the picture of his kids, of son, Joshua and Alex, because I don't believe. So, and I'm like, oh, I want to know more with this guy. And then because we keep chatting.
We're getting to know one another. She told me all about her work in Singapore.
Yes, Ivy, my friend, is falling asleep beside me. And then his friend Nick is gone home.
Yeah.
Right? And then...
So me and Leah May were talking for hours and hours and hours.
That we didn't even know the time. And then,
so I said, I'm going to just buy another round of drinks.
Yes.
And we turned around.
And then we asked the bartender guy, can we order some more drinks, please? And then he said, no, mom, it's already closed. And then we turned around. All the chairs.
The disco, the nightclub was empty.
Yes, it's just...
They were turning on all of the lights. We had been in such deep conversation with one another that we didn't notice. Everyone had left the nightclub.
Yes, yes.
They were turning off all of the strobe lights, all of the colored lights. The main lights were coming on.
All the chairs is piled up.
All the chairs, I remember turning around, all the chairs are stacked. It's like waking up. But we had been talking, but it felt like you'd woken up from like 3 or 4 hours on the grog, and you're in the nightclub and it's closing. It's closed. He said, sorry, man, it's 4 o'clock. We're closing.
I'm like, what?
We just looked at each other. I'm like, I thought it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. No, sir, it's 4 o'clock. You have to go home now, sir.
My God.
So then that comes the awkward moment where you both know that you have to leave now. Yeah. And it's like, well, what happens next?
Yes.
So what happened next?
We go out the MO2, we took a taxi, and we're hungry because we're drinking. So we went to the nearest McDonald's
You know
in
what it's
Mandawi.
like? 4 o'clock in the morning, you've been drinking all night, you're really hungry, you want to get a kebab or there's no kebabs.
yes.
So let's go to McDo. So we got a taxi to the nearest McDo,
And
McDonald's.
then and we ordered some McDonald's food.
I had run out of money. So Leah May very kindly bought a McDonald's meal for us.
Yes, I do.
And then we sat.
I pay our first meal.
She paid
together.
the first date. She paid the first date.
And
we
then
went to
Ivy is
McDonald's.
with me
Her friend's still there, like falling asleep on the McDonald's table, like wondering when are these two gonna go home. She kept saying to her, come on Hattie, I want to go home. And me and Leah May are deep in conversation.
No, Ivy is so supportive with me.
We clicked straight away. Myself and Leah May
away.
clicked straight away.
Straight away, and that's how I started our relationship.
So that's how we met in MO2. It wasn't
Yes.
online, it was natural meeting.
Yes, that's how we started our relationship. It's not a plan. It's meant to be. I think if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Imagine, guys, I went to Samar and then I just come back
That same
home.
day, she was in Leyte, she was in Samar.
Yes.
And I was out island hopping during the day. Then I was just going to go home after being like island hopping all day. I wasn't supposed to be going out that evening. I got a phone call and they said,
Yes.
Blair, come on, we're going out. Party time. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. No, come on, Mr. Blair, you've got to come with us.
Yeah.
So I ended up going out that night and I wasn't looking to meet anyone. It was just like going out to party with my friends.
Yeah, I'm not looking for anyone that time. I'm just happy being single and enjoying my life. But then if you're meant to be, you're meant to be. You don't need to look it. You don't need to find it. It will just
It just
come.
happens.
Yes.
Yeah, it just happened.
That's what I.
So then what
experienced,
happened?
you know.
So after we met that evening,
After that we met
you
in
went
evening.
home.
Yeah,
with
I went
Ivy?
home with Ivy. We contacted and you said like we go to because
Started
that's
texting
Sunday.
each
Yeah,
other.
That Sunday we went to SM City.
The next day.
Yes, we bring Joshua and Alex. I met the two boys.
So went back and got changed, and then
Yes.
the next morning, or it's the same day, the next day,
Yeah,
the
it's
same
Sunday.
day,
On Sunday,
a couple of hours later,
we went to SM City. We bring Joshua and Alex. That's the first time I met them. They're so nice.
so that's when you believed me that I was a single father.
That's I believe that he is a single father, and I know he is a family man. He really loves his kids, and that's really touching me.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm a little bit emotional, you know.
Lucky you're wearing the shades. She's
I
crying,
don't know
guys.
yet. I mean, yeah. That's the. I don't know why. I don't know why, Daddy.
It's called love.
Yeah, that's night. That I cannot say.
She's
That's-
choked.
That's night changed me.
That tonight changes. She stopped going to male stripper bars and became
No, that's the only-
became a good girl. Mr. Blair changed the joke, guys.
That's the only night.
That's the only
I
night
went
she
there.
saw a stripper man, and it was for her friend Ivy. Really?
Yeah, it is.
All right.
If you asked Ivy, man.
Okay, we'll bring
But-
Ivy on.
But that's the best night I ever had.
Me too.
And that's the night that it changed me from being single to being now, you know? Like, literally, babe.
So, yeah, don't cry.
I don't know why I'm crying.
We've never spoken about this before on
Yeah.
camera. So that same day, we met at SM and we went to the cinema, and I brought my two boys with me, Joshua and Alex.
So I met Joshua and Alex, and they're so nice. They're so cute boys because they look like Blair.
How old were they then?
Probably Alex is 7 and Joshua
Yeah.
is 12, something like that.
Yeah. So
And
they were around 7 and 12 at that point.
yes. And we went to cinema. I'm falling
Do you
asleep.
remember what we watched?
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I'm
Couldn't have been a
falling
good movie because we don't remember.
I'm falling asleep because I had No, I didn't sleep that night.
We went to your mum and dad's and
Yes.
you took us up for a big walk up the mountain. Maybe I've got some pictures of that. I'll show you some pictures on
I think we got that.
on the vlog now. If
Yeah.
I've got the pictures, you're seeing them now.
Yes, with Joshua and Alex. They're cute and cuddly that time.
They're cute and cuddly at that time.
But now they're all growing up.
So guys, thanks for watching this one. Stay with us, please, please, please. Turn on the notification bell, because even though you're subscribed, you need to turn on that bell so you're notified when we put up a video.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.